45 degrees, a light wind, and Penn State kicks the ball off. Cedric Shaw takes it deep in the end zone, and the Hawkeyes will take over. 1st and 10. Paul Burmeiser gives off to Ryan Terry, and he only gains 1 before he's knocked down by Gelheiser. Let's move 2 plays. 3rd and 9. Burmeister wants to throw. Ball to the left flat. It is incomplete. Intended for Terry in the left flat. That brings up a 4th down. Brian Hurley to punt. It will be a 31-yard kick. Return of 2 by Ingram, and John Hartlieb on the tackle. Penn State sets up shop at midfield. 1st and 10. O'Neal gets the call over left tackle. He is hit hard by Chris Webb for a short gain of 2. The drive eventually stalls, and so Musillo has to punt, and he kicks it out at the Hawkeye 12-yard line, a 36-yard punt. 13:06 left in the first stanza. From the 12, 1st and 10, Cedric Shaw over left tackle. Clare knocks him down for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11, Burmeister throws to the right flat. Jeff Antilla. Make it 3rd and 6. Burmeister again wants to throw. Looks, finds Scott Slutzker, and he gains 16 before he's knocked down by Pittman. Good for a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 32. Cedric Shaw, he's in trouble, going to be knocked down for a loss of 6. Jackson in on the play. Make it 2nd and 16. Burmeister again wants to throw. There's Anthony Dean with a great catch, and he has 18 yards. Let's move 2 plays later from the 44. 2nd and 10. Burmeister, good protection, throws. Dean again with a great circus catch, and he picks up 13. From the Penn State 43, 1st and 10, Burmeister again, Antilla, and he gains 6 before Hammonds knocks him down. From the Penn State 37, 2nd and 4, Cedric Shaw gets the call around left end, but he's in trouble. Pittman, the first man there, and Shaw loses 1. The drive stalls. 4th and 10 from the 43. Nick Gallery into punt. Ingram deep for Penn State. He returns for 4, and there is John Hartlieb, who is a great special teams player. 1st and 10 from the 13. Pitts over left guard. He gets 4. Mike Daly in on the tackle. 2 plays later, 3rd and 6. Saka wants to throw, looks, throws for O'Neal, but a good rush, no fumble, incomplete pass. That brings up a 4th down. Good rush. Penn State gets the punt away. 40-yard punt. Willie Guy fields it, tries to get to the sideline, but he slips down. Perry on the tackle there. So Iowa is set up in good position from the 42. 1st and 10. Burmeister with the fake up the middle, throws deep, intended for Harold Jasper. It is intercepted. Good play down there by Hammonds, and not only can he catch it, but he can run it as he brings it back 19 yards all the way across the field. From the 30, 1st and 10, Saka wants to throw, finds Brady, good, gain of 22, Pat Boone, yes, Pat Boone in on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 48, Carter over right guard, cuts back left, he gains 25 before Marquise Porter brings him down. 2 plays later, 2nd and 8, Carter over left tackle, he gains 10 before Boone again makes the tackle. From the Iowa 11, 1st and 10, O'Neal over right tackle. Parker Wildman leads the Iowa defense. 2 plays later, again from the 11, 3rd and 10, Saka looks to throw, plenty of time. Now he decides to run, decides to throw, cuts back up the middle, and gains 9 before Larry Blue puts him down. But not enough for the 1st down, so LaBarca has to come in. He holds, Fayette kicks, and Penn State goes up 3-0. Penn State kicks off. Again, Shaw in the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10 from the 20. Cedric Shaw gets the call around the right side, but Penn State is tough. Rubin runs him out. From the 23, 2nd and 7. Burmeister wants to throw. There's Willie Guy, good for 8. From the 31, 1st and 10, Shaw gets the call. He goes around the left side, has a nice block, makes a nice move across the 40, the 45. He's at midfield, and he picks up 24, but Iowa was penalized 15 yards. Now make it 2nd and 1. Burmeister throwing deep for Jasper, just off his hands, incomplete. 2 plays later from the 42, 1st and 10. King around the right side, couple of nice moves, picks up 9 before Pittman knocks him down. From the 49 of Penn State, 2nd and 1. Ryan Terry gets the call over the left tackle. Look at that 2nd and 3rd effort inside the 40. He gains 12. From the Penn State 37, 1st and 10. Ryan Terry again gets the call, stiff arms, and gains 7 before Brennan pulls him to the turf. 2nd and 10 from the 26. The reverse. Anthony Dean around the left end, and he gains 7 before he is knocked down hard by Gelsheiser. Into the first quarter, Penn State 3 and Iowa nothing. Great crowd on hand. There you see in the corner of the end zone. Now let's move to second quarter action. This is 3rd and 3. Burmeister on the swing pass to Ryan Terry. But oh my, this Penn
6 yards out. And he is finally missed. Romano misses a 36-yarder. Fayak has already kicked a field goal for Penn State. That's the difference.
Boy, in tight football games, when people that you count on to come up with the big play, they don't come up with them. The head coaches like Hayden Fry, as you see on the screen, you know, you can only do so much.
A new quarterback will come in for a series for Penn State. Kerry Collins, who lost out because of that injured thumb. That's why John Sacca stayed in command of this team this year. Kerry Collins, known as a big playmaker, coming in. Dick?
Brent, you and I saw him rally the team the second half against West Virginia last year. Remember? He did an outstanding job. He throws the ball long real well, has a very strong arm, looks like a prototype guy. I don't think he's as mobile, anywhere close to as mobile as John Sacca.
Has a big opportunity, though. Sacca 1 of 6, 22 yards. That to the tight end. So Collins in for his first series. And he'll hand it off to Carter, who's been running well here for the Nittany Lions, to the 26, and Jeff Kerwin.
Both teams have had pretty good drives. As you look at the numbers, Iowa's in total yards leading. Of course, they have the 1 turnover. Rush yards pretty equal. Pass yards, Iowa. Therefore, the substitution at the quarterback position.
The big difference in the game, Iowa missed its field goal opportunity. Penn State and Sacca led theirs. They hit it 3-0. Now a new quarterback, and Carter is brought down. Blue is all over the place.
He's played well, you know, and he came in here. He's a senior out of Hempstead, New York, and he's fired up about playing against these guys from the East. That's where he was raised.
Now, we've been raving about Ben Fatty. Let's not overlook that stallion in this Iowa defensive line, number 64, young man by the name of Mike Wells, who gets the job done for the Hawkeyes. And there's Mike.
They move him around, too, to sort of get him isolated up on different people. Excellent football player.
Flags all over.
You know, I'm a little bit confused in the substituting the quarterback, Brent, in that Sacca just came off his best drive. You know, when he took him down the field and got the field goal, I would have thought they felt he had rhythm and would let him go ahead and play. Now this might disrupt him. What have we got going here?
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards.
Calm down, he's saying. Just calm down. We'll be okay.
Sacker's watching Collins.
Well, he had that poor ball game last week after having an outstanding game the week before.
Collins away from the defender. Throws high and incomplete. LaBarca. And let's go to John Saunders. John. John, I want to tell you, Steve Spurrier is a magician down there. He hasn't lost a game down in Gainesville. Now he's up against a very talented Heath Schuler in Tennessee, and he's doing a number. And here, it was Iowa's defense doing a number. This is Willie Guy returning one for the Hawks. At midfield, out of bounds. Willie Smith popped him. Penn State 3, Iowa nothing. The Hawkeyes coming up. Joe Paterno and the Nittany Lions open with wins over Minnesota and the University of Southern California. 1-0 in the conference, and now they come into Iowa City on an overcast day. The Hawkeyes operating on a short field. Moving in for the Nittany Lion 46-yard line. Cedric Shaw could not elude the three defenders led by Jackson, who again is playing a whale of a game on that Nittany Lion defensive front.
You know, in his first name, his parents named him Toyoka because it means one who gives joy. But I'll tell you, he doesn't bring any joy to those running backs or offensive linemen that try to block him. He's an ornery son of a gun.
Very talented defensive line. Burmeister and the Hawkeyes have been throwing frequently. He'll do it here again. Steps up in the pocket. Throws it away. He threw it out of bounds.
Intentionally grounded.
Todd Atkins on him.
That's intentionally grounding the ball right there. Toyoka forced him out of the pocket to the right side of your screen. You'll see Toyoka number 97 appear.
The reason why they didn't call intentional grounding, they had blown the whistle back on the 46-yard line, so it's a loss of 8 yards on the play. The play had been whistled down before he threw the ball out of bounds.
They're on 46.
Then it's a quick whistle. A very quick whistle. And no wonder Joe was so upset.
From the shotgun, Burmeister. Again, defensive pressure. The Iowa offensive line starting to break down now, and Atkins is starting to rumble.
Todd Atkins is substituted in there for Eric Ravati at the right defensive tackle spot and doing a real good job. See, Coach Joe is rotating his people in there, keeping them fresh. Atkins is just a young football player. He's got a couple of years of eligibility left, making a big play.
Two of them back-to-back, 18 yards and losses. Forces a punt by Gallery.
That's a lousy punt.
And Ingram with the fair catch at the 30-yard line. Penn State 3, Iowa nothing. Give you an idea about the folks here in Iowa. Last year they raised a lot of money and food products, sent it down to Miami, and then of course this summer this area racked by the floods. And today down in Miami, those folks are going to reciprocate. Money being raised at the Hurricanes game against Virginia Tech will be sent up here to aid some of the flood victims, giving you an idea of how much moisture has fallen here in Iowa City. 50 of 80 days since July it has rained. It has not rained, well, we had a few drops this morning, but nothing to mention, although it remains overcast and rain forecast for later today. Collins still in at quarterback and throws to one of his back. Penalty flag is down on the field. We have a penalty flag. Julie Moran, who you got with you?
I'm with a die-hard Hawkeye fan. Makes this trek from Hollywood to see these games. Tom Arnold, how many games a year do you see?
Last year I saw 4. Hopefully I'll be able to say 3 or 4 this year.
Now, I heard a little scoop about the Miami game. You paid someone to take out the mascot.
Well, what happened was Miami was beating us real bad. We had a bad year last year, and Herky, the Hawk, our mascot, I was in fear of his safety. The Miami mascot was taunting him, and so I paid a guy to go out and tackle him, and even the score.
Did you pay to get him out of jail, too?
Yeah, I had to pay to get him out of jail, too.
But in all seriousness, you and Roseanne really add a lot to this community. You've built homes, restaurants, newspapers. Tell us about that.
Well, we love this whole state of Iowa. I went to school here and down in Ottumwa, where I went to high school. I went to the high school game last night. They won, by the way. But yeah, we love this whole state and this area, and we gotta, you know, it's just a great place to be. You can tell that by being here. And they're great. The fans are the best here too. They're great.
Thanks for stopping by, Tom.
Thanks for having me by. Go Hawks.
Kind of interesting seeing Tom in front of an ABC microphone again. Brian Mill caught that pass coming out of the backfield, number 22.
The holding penalty moved him all the way back.
Nullified as a result of the penalty. Ball back to the 16-yard line, and here's Carter. And Carter wrapped up by Crane, the nose man. Maurier Crane, the senior, he jarred the ball loose in that final play offensively for the Cyclones of Iowa State last week.
He's a long ways from home, too, Brent. Waco, Texas. I think that the fact that Hayden Fry coached at SMU and North Texas State and everything, it really educated him in regard to the recruiting of that state. And he always has a few guys that play well from Texas on his roster.
2nd and 15. Nittany Lions lead it by a field goal. Off a fake, it is Collins on the run, incomplete, and Bobby Diaco there defensively.
Again, good pressure. We give Maurier Crane a little credit, and what's he do? He must have heard you, Brent. He goes ahead, he gets good pressure, forces him outside the pocket, has to throw on the run, throws it in accurately. Incomplete pass.
That's some cast he's got as a weapon there on the left arm.
Well, they have to sponge those casts, anything like that. They can't wear a hard cast.
3rd and 15. Offensive line holds up, and underneath the Chip LaBarca and out of bounds with Scott Plate there.
Now, people watching this are going to say, why on 3rd and 15 would they throw an underneath pattern? He didn't want to throw underneath. The coverage took the deeper pattern away. He intelligently threw the ball to the open person underneath the coverage. The thing he did, though, is give his punter a chance to really bang it away and end up with better field position.
B.J. Masillo, punt number 4 coming up. And Willie Guy is back.
Nice punt.
Fair catch at the 24-yard line.
See, that's the disadvantage of only having one safety back there. He should not have fair caught that football. He should have taken off and run with it. But with no one else there to tell him, anyone else coming around him to cover, he has to use his judgment. I think that was bad judgment.
Interesting matchup Monday night on ABC. John Elway and the revitalized Denver Broncos go into Kansas City. You know, the Broncos have never played well historically on a carpet. Now it's Joe Montana due to come back. 9 Eastern time. It'll be the Chiefs and the Broncos Monday night on ABC. Ryan Terry and Cliff King are in at running back. This is Terry. Terry bolts to a hole. Dingle making the stop.
I tell you, the inside linebacker moved him set out of the play. Holmgren moved over just a little too far and allowed that cutback lane. Now you see, left-hand corner of your screen, Brian Holmgren. Now watch him move. Holmberg it is. Now watch him move. See, he moves a little too hard, and they cut up right up underneath him. See, he opened up that gap himself. A little too anxious.
They come back with Terry.
32 Lions, Terry.
Boy,
Monahan.
that's what's tough, Brent, on young linebackers, is you have a tendency to want to overreact and move and get out of position in relationship to the football, and you give them the cutbacks. Tough to discipline that.
Gain of 5, 2nd down, 5.
Hawkeyes looking for that big play that'll get them right back in this. Down by a field goal. Penn State having used 2 quarterbacks in this game. 4 down linemen for the Nittany Lions. Terry calls for a couple of yards.
Boy, Eric Clare, the defensive left tackle, number 89, really unloaded on the offensive right guard and knocked him all the way back into the backfield. Just destroyed that offensive play. Nice job by Eric Clare. They call him Eclair, not chocolate Eclair. Boy, that was a nice play, young man.
Needing 5 yards this time.
Audible.
Puts his backs into the eye. Play fake out of it. Going down. Fumble! Iowa pounces on it finally.
Boy, that ball got batted around there. I know this. Eric Ravati was the defensive lineman that came around and got up the back of Paul Burmeister. Good pressure by Eric Ravati. You'll see him coming around the left side of your screen here. He's one-on-one situation with Hal Maddie. Here's Ravati, here's Maddie right here. In a one-on-one pass rush, action away from him. See, there's the fake. Now he gets him. Now you'll see he's pausing there. He wanted to go down the middle. Here comes Ravati, and he rolls right up behind him. Ooh, sometimes that can hurt the ankles.
Timeout, Iowa. 7:21 to go in the first half. Penn State leading 3-0. Story so far that Penn State has used 2 quarterbacks. John Sacca, the starter, got a field goal out of his performance, and then Joe Paterno turned it over to Kerry Collins for a while. The Nittany Lions due to get it back here at the 7:20 mark, but so far against Hayden Fry, it has been that Nittany Lion defense doing a job against Paul Burmeister. There's the Sacca who started for Penn State.
Overall, I think both defensive teams have done a pretty good job, you know, and I know Sandusky from Penn State was really concerned that he'd see so many different things in this ball game that they haven't shown in the previous 2 games, that it would be hard for his young linebackers to adjust. But so far, I think they've done a good job.
Well, tonight, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks aren't sleepless in Seattle. They're here in the network premiere of Joe versus the Volcano. It's the ABC Saturday night movie. Hosted by Paula Poundstone. Who is Paula Poundstone? Comedian. Thank you very much. That's Kim Belton, my producer, keeping me up to date on what's going on in the contemporary world. There is the...
If he can feel that, that's the time you want to return. You don't normally want to take that ball back there, Brent, but it got there too quick. Normally, you'll let that ball go in the end zone, but it was a long line drive. You might as well take a shot with it.
That was Bobby Ingram of Penn State. Kerry Collins still in at quarterback for Joe Paterno and the Nittany Lions. Penn State leading Iowa here in Iowa City by a field goal. Brian Millen, number 22, continues to stay in that backfield as the fullback.
Got a safety blitz.
Carter gets outside against that blitz for a big gain. Carter gets to the left and outside.
They anticipated runoff tackle out of the I formation. They ran a strong safety blitz. You'll see him come from the left side of your screen over here. He'll come to the... See, there he is, number 4. Pat Boone coming in there, but he handed the ball off. Good deception.
And Millen with some excellent blocking. Carter on the day after that 28-yard gain, 6 carries for 78 yards, and Florida big over Tennessee. Stephen Pitts, now the tailback. Off a fake by Collins, incomplete, and a receiver wide open and missed his tight end Brady.
You know what mistake he made? Collins was moving to his right, his tight end was moving to his right, and he led him. When you're both moving, you don't lead him, you throw it right at him. He threw it out in front of him, he led him, he didn't need to. Incomplete pass. These guys take their football serious. Better see your dentist.
Yes, the Nittany Lions possession. A field goal to show for 5 possessions. This the 3rd possession for Collins and the offense. Nothing doing that time. Swarmed by Crane and the rest of the Hawk defense.
Real nice job by Mike Wells, who this time is playing defensive left tackle. He reads the counter, works inside out on the play. You'll see him playing right here. The action starts away from him, then comes back. See him 64, he reads the guard, he fights him off, he works inside out, frees it right there, frees it right there. See, perfect position, nice defense. Good job.
A yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 11 for Penn State. Collins with time, deflected, incomplete, and Plate almost got the ricochet as LaBarca could not hold on.
LaBarca has very, very sure hands. Now, he hasn't caught many balls in his career. A good defensive series. Again, stopping that counter play, forcing him into 3rd and real long. Tough to convert that 3rd and 11 situation.
Hey, you got to keep pushing in the middle. You got to make something. Push a little bit.
Masillo running to Guy. I'll let this one roll dead. Shelley Hammonds for the Nittany Lions, and a reminder that coming up at halftime on the Prudential Halftime Report, John will have the scores and highlights from all of the games. Interview Colorado head coach Bill McCartney. The Buffaloes take on Stanford tonight, and we'll have a report on the opening weekend of the Ivy League season. Baseball action. That's what we've got here, a 3-0 score with Penn State over Iowa. Toronto, a winner in the American League East, 5-1. Giants coming to life a little bit in Cincinnati. Here it is Cedric Shaw getting the handoff, and the first man who hit him was Bonner. Derek Bonner came up for the Nittany Lions and struck the first blow.
When you talk about Derek Bonner, you're talking about a total student athlete. Outstanding student. Went to school there, Brent, with a straight 4.0 out of high school. Straight A's. Can't do much better than that, and then he plays defense equally as well.
Very impressive Penn State defense. Brian Monahan cleaning up on that play behind Bonner.
He has very little experience. He's a senior getting his opportunity to play, and he's playing well.
Eric Clare, number 89, has turned in several big-time plays. This time the Iowa offensive line holds up beautifully. And a completed pass to Harold Jasper. First down, Iowa.
See, Brent, you called that perfectly. You said the offensive line is holding up. See, that pattern takes time to develop. See, now you'll see the coverage downfield. They go into a double zone. The safeties will divide. See, the pass rush is picked up inside. The stunts are picked up. Patience. There he finds the hole in there. Took time. Good pass protection. Completed pass.
The best pass rusher Penn State's had today has been Todd Atkins, not on the field in that last play. Shaw and King on a little delay action fake. Burn and loose. Penn State recovers in the air. Eric Clare fumble now, or is it down? Down. Ball is down. Intercepted pass for big Eric Clare.
They ran a play action draw pass, faking the draw, trying to get the ball downfield. Eric Clare just kept coming. See, there's the fake. He's got the ball on his hip. Now he gets it up there. He still has it in one hand. Now there comes the guy. Ravati comes around number 94 and strips him a la Lawrence Taylor. There it is. He was down. Big play.
Big break for the Nittany Lions. Inside of 5 minutes against Hayden Fry's defense.
-2 in turnovers already. They came into the ball game +4. Right now, -2. That gets you beat.
O'Neal and Carter are the running backs. Collins still the Penn State quarterback. The toss to Carter. Carter makes his way for a yard. Mike Daly hitting him, linebacker.
You know, we have some real offensive line, defensive line battles going on there. Hardings and Crane are really battling offensive guard against tackle. Penn State 4 giveaways. The defense has only given up the 1 touchdown after the giveaways.
Well, if Penn State's going to use more of its fullback today, as they told you, he'll lead the way for Carter. Carter gets to that corner again, and he's belted out of bounds.
Good job of blocking at the point. Good job of blocking by the fullback, Brian O'Neill. You'll see what I'm talking about here to the left-hand side of your screen. Now, you'll see the good blocking coming off right here like that, and then the lead block by the fullback. See? They've got to get a man in contained position there. He gets out there. Good clean it right there. See, that gave speed. Now, that gave him a chance to run to the flag.
Marcus Montgomery whacked him out of bounds. 9 carries for 90 yards for Carter, who's been the big runner here. Nittany Lions at the 13. Carter again inside the 10-yard line with Crane hanging on.
Stopped by Crane.
Time left first half. Penn State 3, Iowa nothing.
There's the offensive coordinator right above Coach Yo, Coach Ganter. They call the plays. They're talking to the people in the press box. Dick Anderson is up there, the offensive quarterback coach now. Ken Jackson, the wide receiver coach.
Carter picks his way, stumbles toward the end zone, and is down at the 1-yard line.
Good offensive blocking by the backside guard. Many times the blocking away from the point of attack. See, the ball's going to start in this direction, but the blocking here is critical because he gets the cutback. If you can cut back and have speed to do it and the vision to do it. Now see that block right there? Beautiful. Look at that hole. Good then, innate running skills.
Kajana Carter over 100 yards in the first half. 11 carries for 102. He deserves the nod here on 1st and goal. He's earned it. He stopped that time. Beautiful. Bobby Diaco slipped through. Number 45 got through on the play.
Great defense. That's the way to attack you. There's no room down there for sissies. You got to get after him. And boy, did he do it. Wells also number 64. Now watch him shoot the gap. See, they divided right there. The running back missed him. The running back missed him at the point of attack. He has to be able to pick him up. Nice play.
Second and goal and a long yard. Stephen Pitts checks in. O'Neill cut back, touchdown Penn State. Brian O'Neill, who got into the end zone against Southern Cal, gets in here against Iowa for Joe Paterno. First touchdown of the game. And there's the man who did a lot of the work, congratulating him, Carter.
He just pounds it in there. Now watch this. He gets up right now and says hello to the Penn State fans. They're all sitting right down there. Hello.
And here's Fayak. Perfect. A field goal and an extra point after that miss last week late against Southern Cal. So Fayak's confidence is fine. And now Penn State taking advantage of the Iowa turnovers. 10 points after the 2 turnovers. This time a touchdown.
Brian O'Neill deserves a few good plays. You know, he had back surgery following the 92 season, and then he broke his toe in training camp this year, and he's just really getting healthy right now. So he deserves to have a few things go his way. This is senior year. Here's take another look at what it's like down there in the rough area. Going to hand it ball deep. Here, a little reverse pivot. Give it to him. Good lead block that time. See, he gets his body up in the air. Defenders couldn't stop him. Nice job. He says, hello, Penn State fans.
2.5 minutes, and the Hawkeyes trailing it by 10. Wisconsin beating Iowa State. Northwestern dumping Boston College.
You know, I talked to Coach Coughlin this week, and he was really concerned about going to Northwestern because they had beaten them badly last year, and he knows they were a better team. Wow, that was a score.
73, I believe A&M has on that board right now. UCLA with a lead on Nebraska.
Go Bruins. They're trying to run him out of town. He's going to beat Nebraska.
Here comes Shaw from the 1. 15, 20. Down at the 28-yard line. Well, it was that fierce defensive line rush by the Nittany Lions which set up that touchdown.
And, you know, talking about that rush, many times they have been blocked initially, but the coverage is taking the pattern away, and these kids don't quit. I noticed that in looking at the tapes last week. And talking with Coach Joe Sarah, who coaches that defensive line, he says these kids are really intense. They just play hard on every snap. And I think that was reflected to me by Joe Paterno last night.
Terry and King are the Iowa running backs. 4 down linemen and an outside linebacker joins the rush. Burmeister dumps it to the fullback. And King out of bounds. Chasing him that time was Brian Monahan.
You know, Eric Ravati is just really giving the offensive left tackle from Iowa a real problem. Hal Maddie, the offensive left tackle, is not taking away the inside move, and that's giving him some problems. No huddle attack.
Terry against that delay action, and Jackson makes the stop.
Iowa has 2 timeouts left. They get the first down here.
Stop by number 92, Terry Killens. Up off by Tyler Jackson.
Need a first down to stay alive here inside the 2-minute mark. Otherwise, they'll make them punt. Burmeister in trouble and going down again. Monahan.
Outside linebacker, good defensive call by Jerry Sandusky. Not going to rush with 4. He's going to rush with 5 or 6 this time. Coming right at you now to the right side. You'll see him come play action. Takes it a little longer. Here he is right there. He gets around the outside of number 67, Fritz Fakir.
Three sacks here today. Gives us an opportunity to check out what's coming up in prime time. Penn State leading Iowa late in the first half, 10-0 Nittany Lions. And our man Hayden Fry, he is everywhere here in Iowa City. Every time you look around, I mean, that man working over there in the band after he got his ticket.
He was in the lobby of our hotel this morning.
Ingram is swarmed at the 40. A minute and a half to work with.
Penn State has both timeouts. Now this is going to be a little test for the quarterback. Which quarterback got the most work in the 2-minute offense this week? Most of the time, 80% of that work goes to your starter.
Collins, with Saka watching, he started the game, was in for 3 series and a field goal. Collins now has been on the field. And the Nittany Lions have their touchdown and a 10-0 lead. He'll throw. He has a good deep arm. This is a first down. Ingram, Scott Plate, the defender.
That's the first time they've gotten the ball in a passing game to Ingram. He ran a burst pattern up underneath the rolled up corner and good rhythm. He got it there right on time.
And they got to be careful with Collins in this deep game. Off a nice fake, they'll run Carter, who's had a 100-yard half with Plate holding on and then getting help. Chris Jackson coming over.
Well, Carter had 104 yards last week against USC, and here he is 100 already in the first half. I actually anticipated them rotating those back just a little more than they've been doing, but he has done such a good job. I guess they just figured, you know, we've got a good horse running, keep the saddle on him and let him run.
I'd save the freshman for the fourth quarter like Ohio State did against Washington with Butler by Note last Saturday night. Now it's Collins going to swing it out here to Carter, and Carter's hit by Hartley. Hartley's been very active on special teams here in the first half for Iowa, so it was turnovers, which cost them 10 points.
I talked with John Hartley the other day, and I was looking at tape. You know, his parents, the Hartley family, have been coming to Iowa to watch football games for 11 years. His brother Chuck and Jim both played here. He said both brothers are a little better students than I am, and my dad's always on me about taking what I do academically as seriously as I do playing linebacker, but he says, I have time to improve my grades. But my brothers, they were academic all Big Ten, both of them.
Well, the Penn State alums have shown up here, several thousand on hand in Iowa City, one of the largest alumni bases in the United States. It's a perfect fit. Penn State and the Big Ten, they're going to be a wonderful relationship. Everybody in the conference happy to have them on board, and I think where it's really going to serve the athletic program at Penn State will be the rest of the teams. Their football program was in excellent shape already, as you know. But think about what it's going to mean to the basketball team. Already recruiting is picked up, I understand. That'll continue to grow. Women's athletics will have a good conference setting for them. Archie and O'Neal are the running backs. So Mike Archie at 5'8" checks in. And now it is Collins with time incomplete. Justin Williams, the intended receiver.
You know, the 2-minute offense like this, Brent, you know, and they're laying the ball off to the back like they did a minute ago. I'd rather see it more in the screen game. So when you do lay it off, you've got a blocker out there in front, and then he has a better chance to advance the football. Right there, that was a very unproductive 2-minute drill.
And Joe is telling Collins that over on the sideline also. Masillo punting. Willie Guy is back deep.
Lousy punt.
Oh, hit his teammate right on the head. Hit him right in the head gear.
So no one punts one like that.
Shelley Hammond said, wait a minute, that punt's supposed to be 25 yards further downfield.
That's the first.
Maybe ricocheting off my helmet. Where'd that come from?
The ball's dead up where it was touched in the helmet. He said, I didn't do anything wrong, coach. He just hit me in the head. Watch this, coming down the right side of your screen here. Here he is, number 20. Boom! Hey, whoa, whoa. I'll use it. Let it go. Doink.
21-yard punt. 48 seconds for Burmeister.
Okay, you can't afford to relax at any time against a Hayden Fry coached football team. I have seen him do some very strange things right before the half, both successfully and negatively.
Against this rush, they may want to think about running the clock out. Every time they line Burmeister up in an obvious pass, here it comes. Now they get some play action fake that time, and then it's bobbled over here by Slutzker.
Boy, he dropped that one. See, he's thinking about catching the ball and getting out of bounds to stop the clock before he catches it. Just, I mean, those things sound so simple, but heck, they do it in the NFL. You know, guys that are making $60, $70 a game.
The Hurricanes with only one touchdown in the first half so far against Virginia Tech, which lit up Pittsburgh last week. And today it was the Buckeyes of Ohio State with 63 points against Johnny Major's defense at Pittsburgh. I believe it was 63-28. John Saunders will have that score coming your way here. Now they're back in the old prevent.
He's not breaking an audible to run it. No, play action pass.
Against that three-man rush, Burmeister gets it complete. Clock is stopped. Out of bounds. Kent Call, the backup fullback.
See, he saw a double zone defense coming. He audibled, but the linebacker dropped underneath the tight end trying to go down the hole, Brent. Defense did a good job. No place to go. He lays it off.
Run out of bounds on the 33-yard line. Third down, 2.
Very impressive Penn State defense, isn't it?
No, they're excellent. That down 4, they're so quick.
And this time they get a completion.
32 seconds.
Harold Jasper in 30 seconds. At that 47, there's that old prevent defense. Everybody back there and only a three-man rush, giving Burmeister time.
And he threw it up high over the top of the linebackers. They have one timeout left. The clock is stopped. They move the chains. The clock stops until they're set.
Now right away, Sandusky says that's enough of that. 4 down linemen on that defensive front for the Nittany Lions. Burmeister hits Shaw.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Shaw doesn't get out of bounds. Stop it.
That's a freshman, redshirt freshman, making a redshirt freshman mistake. He turned back inside. He lost a lot of seconds then. Had to use his last timeout. You'd like to keep that timeout for the field goal. The scoreboard still shows him with one timeout left, but I don't think that's correct.
Now we get check over here.
Is there
from
one
Mr.
left?
Hill.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. Nice to have a good statistician with you once in a
See,
while.
Dick, the scoreboard operator was quicker than you were that time. He had already changed it. Toronto already a winner, staying ahead of the Yankees, the Orioles, and the rest of the pack. The Giants, but who can hold off the rampaging Atlanta Braves? You folks see that 9th inning the other night? Well, that's something.
Hey, how about those Phillies? Don't talk about all these other.
Wait a minute. You see what happened to the Phillies last night?
Well, what the heck? You know, they
lost one up in Montreal, partner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too early for the Braves. That's trouble. Mets could come back. White Sox and Oakland are tied. They're out on the West Coast. White Sox win that one last night.
Hayden Fry was telling me the other day, this is one of the smartest football teams he's coached. There's a lot of real good students scattered all through the offensive and defensive starting football team. They shouldn't make many mental mistakes.
Seconds. Burmeister going down. He's down. The ball is marked down as Terry Killens wraps him up. The fourth sack by this defensive performance here in the first half.
Boy, and he's fresh. You know, they're rotating intelligently. The defensive players rushing the passer. That takes a lot out of you. The most physical thing you do as a football player is rush the passer. Rotating him. They have a fresh rusher in there. He gets the quarterback. You'll see they were all blocking to the left offensively. You'll see they're crowding over here to the left. They're helping to the left. See him get over here. All the backs are over here. But all of a sudden, here he just keeps coming. Just keeps coming. That's effort, not talent. That's effort.
Killens coming through.
That's a great effort. You know, he's only a sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Nebraska, UCLA. They were writing them off out there on the West Coast, you know?
No, I'm glad you didn't look quick enough. It's 21-14. Tennessee's back in it.
Hey, don't watch out for those bulls.
Here we go. Here we go. Why did I call his attention to that? Well, there's the Penn State pink in that sweatshirt. Now the question is, will Joe Paterno go into that locker room and take the air out of the second half like he did last week and let SC right back in it?
I know it, but he better not take the air out of those sacks. He's got 4 of them right there. He really, seeing when they're not sacking him, they're pressuring him. What I think Iowa has to do is come with more draws and screens and traps and that kind of thing. Try to get that rush as they get upfield.
Well, from midfield, Burmeister firing out of bounds, and the first half comes to an end. Hold it, there's a flag down at midfield. Hold on here before we go to John Saunders. Got a flag at midfield. Ineligible. Let's go to the locker room. That's the end of the first half. It's 10-0. Great defensive performance by Penn State.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years. By a new advanced high-tech formula, Quaker State Motor Oil. It's formulated for today's high-tech engines. We'll be back with halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Back in Iowa City, ready for the second half with Dick Vermeil and Julie Moran. I'm Brent Musburger. So far in the first half, it was a sensational defensive performance, Dick, by the Nittany Lions.
Eric Ravati has really put on a good rush as he does in this play right here. He comes around and creates pressure. They haven't been able to block him.
This forces an intercepted pass. That's what the statisticians rule is, and it set up the only touchdown of the first half. And Dick, in this situation, they went to the short man for the burst and the game's only score.
Well, you know, you get the turnover in that short field like that, and you give it to a guy like this. They move the ball right down there. This was their second attempt to get it in there. They got it in the second time.
And it's 10-0. Penn State leading Iowa. The Hawkeyes will kick it off. to the Nittany Lions, who are making their first road trip as a member of the Big Ten Conference. Penn State already 1-0, having beaten Minnesota in its season opener. It'll be something for the Nittany Lions if they can get away 2-0 before Michigan and Ohio State even play a conference game. Iowa has upset on its mind here in the second half. Kelly Hammonds will come out from the 10. Hammond with an alley, 45 midfield, down to the 36-yard line, caught by Scott Blake.
He got a great moving wedge, shoulder to shoulder. They just opened up a big hole. He broke off it. As you look at this from the end zone, you'll see what I'm talking about. It forms to the left side of your screen. You'll see he's back there, Shelly Hammonds. He takes it on the hash just outside. Now watch that wedge for him. Boom, there's a big hole right there. Now he's going back to being the running back he's been there at Penn State rather than the cornerback he's playing today.
Kerry Collins, who came on in relief of John Saka in the first half, will open up the second half. Carter, who had a big first half rushing, gets the first carry and is slammed by the middle of the defense. Mike Daly and Dick, here are the numbers for the first half.
Well, in total offense, they're pretty even. Very, very even, Brent, with 166 for Iowa, 170. But Iowa has thrown the ball well. Penn State has not. Penn State has run the ball well. The difference was that turnover we just showed, really, for the short drive for the touchdown. Plus, Penn State has sacked them 4 times. Penn State has not been sacked.
Number 2, Mike Archie into the Penn State backfield. And Collins to throw it. Going to go deep down the right sideline. Incomplete. Diving attempt there in the end zone by Freddie Scott with Tom Knight defending.
Now, Kerry Collins, Brent, threw this a little too flat. He didn't get it up in the air high enough. No room for the receiver to adjust the ball and run under it. It was thrown over the outside shoulder like it's supposed to be, but you've got to throw that ball up just a little higher and drop it to him.
Penn State 0 of 7 on third down here today. Good job defensively by Knight, who was hanging on. Now it's 3rd and 9. And Collins under siege this time and forced to take off. Here come the Hawks. They bang him out of bounds near the 30. It was Knight again.
Well, we've been raving about the pass rush of the Penn State down 4. Mike Wells heard us. He says, I'm going to show you what I can do. Here he is coming in, causing the quarterback to rush. Here he is, 64, right side of your screen. He goes underneath. He goes underneath Pickett right there, number 69. See, he can run too. He's forcing him out there. Good thing he lost that 20 pounds in the offseason.
And he did a lot of it running here on the roads around Iowa City during the summer. He led a lot of these Hawkeyes in a conditioning program. This team determined to shed some body fat. 4th down for Penn State after that 54-yard kickoff return. The Lions need 4 to keep it going. Collins gets time this time. All day. Down the middle. He fires for it. Boy, it was the big play man, Bobby Ingram, wrapped up by Jackson.
That was excellent pass protection, but you know, the defensive people actually grabbed the tight end and held on to him. Kyle Brady was fighting his way out of a grip. You see the corners rolled up on him. Now that's Knight, number 8. Now he's playing him man-to-man underneath because he has the safety backing him up. You'll see the safety appear right there. Good throw, good pass protection.
And remember that play for Kerry Collins when you evaluate the Penn State quarterbacks. On 4th and 4, he comes up with a 15-yard gain. Now he goes back to Carter. To Jonna Carter with a 100-yard first half. Hilliard defending for the Hawks.
Kyle Brady must have been upset about how he was held on that last snap, because on this play right here, he came off the ball and just absolutely nailed that linebacker, 95, Larry Blue, to the left side of your screen.
Second down with Carter on the Penn State sideline next to the coach. And they go to his sub, Stephen Pitts, for the touchdown.
Excellent, excellent, excellent block by Kyle Brady, the tight end. Brent, he absolutely annihilated the guy. Now, last week against USC, he blocked extremely well. I saw him at the hotel last night and congratulated him. To the left side of your screen, you'll see what I'm... Look at him blocking down there to the left side right there. And he absolutely annihilates Chris Webb, opens up that big hole. Nice My gosh. Oh, no wonder they're raving about his blocking ability.
9-yard touchdown by Stephen Pitts. Fayette, perfect again on an extra point. 17-0. Penn State leading. Hammond's 54-yard kickoff return sets up the touchdown. The Nittany Lions of Penn State open up a 17-0 lead on Iowa. Oh, and so Joe Paterno decides, I'll be everywhere here.
You can do it, I can do it.
Brett Conway kicking off for the Lions. With a guy to the 24.
Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown play. Good job of blocking by Kyle Brady. You'll see him right here, block down, seal the defense. You'll see the big tackle right here, Marco Rivera, pull around and hook the outside linebacker, Larry Blue. See, now he's going to hook him in. Now that stretches it. Freeze it right there. Freeze it right there. See how that cut the defense right here? And he finds that lane. Excellent blocking. Good picket running.
Now let's take another look at it as they come around the corner and watch the power of Pitts as he barges back and slashes into the end zone for the touchdown. 1st and 10 for Burmeister and the Hawkeyes. Terry is his tailback, gets the first call for Iowa in the second half. Getting to the corner and out near the 40-yard line, Gelthizer in pursuit.
That's a little different wrinkle with their man-in-motion offense. See, they started the man-in-motion across the formation. They've been running toward the man-in-motion. Then they reverse pivot him and bring him back around and toss the ball behind him. Good call and good design. See, Pitts, key play there, 9-yard run.
Dick, what must Iowa do to get back in this, or can they?
Oh, well, they can, because we've seen them explode. Remember against Michigan a couple of years ago in the second half? What they have to do, I think they have to trap and draw these guys quickly. And
blitz. Terry steps past the linebacker and then gets wrapped up by Lou Benfatti. Well, the top 10 today coming into this week. Everybody ranking Florida State #1. They'll go later. Alabama with a win, Miami winning, Notre Dame with a victory, Tennessee losing by only 7, Syracuse ahead. And there you will see a couple of those games later today and the teams that are right. 2nd down from the shotgun, Burmeister. Burmeister with Benfatti hanging on, incomplete to the fullback King.
There's a good adjustment right there, using the shotgun formation on 2nd down. See, it gives a quarterback better vision, a little easier to pass protect it. Great coverage job. See, he couldn't find anybody open to throw the ball to.
Hawkeyes must probe for a big play here on 3rd down. Needing 11 yards. Have to get the ball out to the 47-yard line to keep this going. Both Anthony Dean and Harold Jasper have been able to work their way free if the offensive line can give Burmeister enough time. Let's see if it can hold up against this 4-man rush. He throws quicker that time, but short of the 1st down. That will not get the job done. Shelly Hammonds was there defensively on Anthony Dean. They wanted Dean to run for the 1st down that time. So a shorter drop against this defensive pass rush, but that time the secondary would not let him get free.
See, they were playing a man-to-man coverage up short, Brent, and that allowed them to attack that type of pattern because they were backed up by the free safeties.
Nick Gallery punting again. He and Brian Hurley both punted in the 1st half. And Ingram comes up at the 29-yard line. A 30-yard punt, and the Penn State defense. College football on ABC, brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. And by New Sierra, it's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze. Well, now here's a fan. He's been coming to Penn State games across America for many a year. Happy to be a member of the Big Ten. He says, I'm 1 game closer. Look out! Collins did with Larry Blue bashing into him. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
And right now, Brent, back to you.
John, that's interesting down there in the Southwest. Makovic knows how to move the ball. Syracuse can have some problems defensively. Carter on the toss to the 34-yard line, and Crane brings him down. There's Big Wells again.
He's been a factor in there, and they move him around just enough that you can't get zeroed in on him. Mike Wells, I think the weight he lost has really helped him too, Brent. You know, he dropped quite a few pounds in the offseason. Hasn't lost any strength, though.
Third down coming up. Needing 4 yards. End around. Here comes Ingram. Ingram turns upfield for it. Penalty flag is down. Ingram is out of bounds here on the near side, but there is a penalty flag.
They called the tight end, Kyle Brady, as he blocked the linebacker who went underneath, actually chased the play away, ended up pushing him in the back. That's what they call. You'll see this coming from the end zone on the left side of your screen. See, they start the reverse going. Now, here comes the ball back. Now, follow it back to the left side of the screen here now. You'll see right there. Hold it right there. You'll see right here, he was in the back. They're going to call that. You'll see the flag coming. Boy, that's really tough on the tight end because the ball started away and the linebacker thinks the ball is going away, so he automatically goes underneath in pursuit. Then the ball comes back out. Tight end is in a tough position there.
And Joe yanked him. John Whitman coming out of the field. Kyle Brady over on the sideline.
Joe likes to correct mistakes as soon as he possibly can.
3rd and 18 with Keith Olsommer in at tight end, number 87. Collins throwing for it underneath to Carter. Hartley there defensively. Penn State forced to punt.
You know, they haven't sacked Penn State, but the rush is forcing the quarterback to move and not just sit there and zero in on the pattern. Good job.
This would be an excellent time to try to block a punt.
Well, you know, we've seen a lot of different things go on with the Iowa kicking game back here, some positive, some negative, but it would certainly be a positive thing to try to block it. Here they're coming after it. Wouldn't get there. Nice punt.
Willie Guy driven back to the 28-yard line. Slips a tackler but cannot get his way turned upfield, surrounded by those vanilla white jerseys. Well, Tuesday night, the wait is over. You can decide for yourself about NYPD Blue. You'll see why when NYPD Blue premieres Tuesday night on ABC. Viewer discretion advised. Don't you love that when they have me say viewer discretion advised? That means we'll all be there, right? Come on. Let's watch it. Can't be that bad. Colin Shaw. Off a play fake, Burmeister slips away, gets pounded and throws complete. Hangs tougher than Jasper, takes a lick from Hammonds.
Good poise by Paul Burmeister. You know, he's been pushed around, he's been hit in the back. He didn't throw the ball all week because he was hit in the back last week, but he doesn't panic here even when the pattern does not develop early. He gets back here. Now look, very good poise, calm. He feels the pressure right there by Jackson 97, steps into the rush of Benfati and throws it complete. Nice job, young man.
And then the receiver at the other end did a good job of hanging on too. A 14-yard gain and a Hawkeye first down. Burmeister up at the 41-yard line against this fierce 4-man Penn State rush. This is superb defensive line. Benfati double teamed. High incomplete on the far sideline. Antela, wide receiver.
He saw that coverage audible to the quick out. Actually, in that, it's really hard to throw the out to the slot man, the wide outside receiver on the slot. He should go to the guy inside the slot on that. Coach Hayden Fry coming up with a call.
probing and trying to find the big play here. Trailing by 17 points in the third quarter. Penn State gets a big lift with the second half kickoff. 54-yard return by Shelly Hammonds. Now 2nd and 10 for the Hawks. Burmeister fires complete underneath the coverage to Slutzker. And the tight end with a fine gain before Holmberg wraps him up.
Penn State doing a real good job of mixing up their coverages from 2 deep zones to 2 deep mans to 3 deep to one-on-one coverage with a free safety, mixing them up and doing a good job. Hard to get the ball downfield against that variety of a coverage.
Measurement coming up here.
Still think they've got to get some draws and traps in there to try to slow down that rush. The trouble sometimes with Penn State rush is the rush is so quick they come around the trap blocks and still make the plays.
What surprises you today about the Big Ten, Dick?
Well, I tell you what's surprising me right now is that Penn State's not throwing the ball better. Finals here, Michigan State, Ohio State. That doesn't surprise me. Arizona, Illinois. Hey, Illinois. We know Arizona can play defense.
Indiana beating Kentucky. Wildcats lost a tough one last week. The hands of Florida. Florida and Tennessee. Kent Call in at fullback. 17-0. Penn State leading. First down.
They spread the offensive personnel from sideline to sideline and then run a quarterback sneak.
I'll tell you one thing about Hayden. He's got a tough hombre back there at quarterback.
Yes, he does.
This Burmeister, he stood up to a savage rush here today after taking that whipping you spoke about against Iowa State. After he was injured last week, he got blindsided. I mean, to tell you, a defensive end of the Cyclones. He came free on him. It's a wonder he's able to play here in this game, but here he is holding up. Again. And they rule it's free. And wait, I'll tell you, did you see the referee?
Yeah, I think that was an incomplete pass. I think his arm action was going forward, Brent. I don't know. That's how I saw it. But
I was talking about the body language of the referee. The way he was acting, it was like a free ball. Now
yeah.
Watch the referee in this picture. He's going to rule that this is a fumble.
Oh, the ball went out of his hand.
Sure it did.
Yeah.
Now keep it going, boys. Keep that replay going for the old coach up here. Where's the ref? Get in there. Get in there now. Look at the ref. Ref's got his hands out. You can tell. The guys are standing there before Weigman says, well, I'll pounce on it. That was a freebie, folks. Shaw, the freshman. Ravati brings him down.
See, they ran a draw trap that time, and it hit just a little bit late. The penetration is so deep by these people.
Oh, they've got some football players in that defensive line.
You know, and they're not big.
Look at these guys.
Ravati at 6'3", 238. Nowadays, that's not big. Ben Foddy at 270. Nowadays, that's not big. Eric Clare at 265 and Toyota Jackson at 265. Not big, but intense and quick.
Now here comes the old prevent. This will be good for about 15 yards. Hey, Coach, 3rd and 20. Time out. Things are not going well for that man here today. Meanwhile, Joe's faring well on his first road game. Julie Moran, you got one of my favorite guys with you.
I sure do, Brent. A storied quarterback from Iowa's past. It must bring back vivid memories seeing your number 16 out there.
Yeah, it does. I was on the field last night, and I wish I was out there today. But it's I think another number 16 is going to do well this year.
What do your Hawks have to do to get back into this game?
Well, they have to score soon, number one. But I think they'll get back in it. It's never over with Hayden Fry as the coach, so we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Chuck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Oh, Burmeister trying to come up with a play, but Derek Bonner said, no way. The hero back for the Nittany Lions. And John Saunders, what do you got for us?
Back to you.
Al Vermeil, don't be agonizing now over that. No cheering here in the press box. Iowa punting it away to Penn State. Picked up on the move by Ingram. This could be a return. No, Hawks got, yes, he shakes and bakes to the old 37-yard line.
You know, he can shake and break, and they won't be a good offensive football team until they get the ball in Bobby Ingram's hands. I think he's caught one pass so far. He's gifted. They've got to get the ball in his hands. Here's Johnson.
Well, there was the starter, but Penn State has elected to go with a different quarterback. Now Florida leading by 2 touchdowns again over Tennessee, 28-14. In Texas, up ahead of Syracuse, 21-14. 7 minutes left in the third. Down in Austin. Collins off a fake, over the middle, incomplete.
You know, this is just the opposite approach that Coach Joe Paterno took last week when he got the lead at halftime over SC. He came out and just ran the football. Here he's starting right out here. 1st and 10, throw and play action pass. Take a look at this graphic. Rush attempts rather. 148 yards for Penn State, 39 to Iowa. 1.4. Last week USC had 1.1. But he has changed the second half approach this week from last week.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Carter, who's been the big ground gainer. Diaco trips him up.
Bill Brazier, the defensive coordinator for Iowa, is starting to commit linebackers to stop the run and to fill those gaps with blitzing linebackers.
No, it's interesting that Penn State 0 for 9. George Hill tells me here on 3rd down, but remember they were 1 for 1 on a big 4th down. They came up with a 15-yard gain, led to a scoring drive. This is 3rd and 6. Collins sends his backs out, deflected, incomplete.
You know, this
Parker Wilderman, the nose man.
They have really cut back on the pass offense. They prepared for the game this week. Last week they felt they gave John Sackett too much, so they cut back. But here they are on 3rd and long situation, running a play action pass. They really must be limited in what they have in the game plan to be doing that. He got that batted. He's tall enough, he should be able to get it over their hands, so there was good penetration by the pass rush.
Lasilla.
That's a return type ball, Brandon.
Well, they guys got it, but way back at the 7-yard line. Hammonds was back there initially, and then he's wrapped up by Willie Smith, the linebacker. Good job of coverage by the Nittany Lions. They lead the Hawkeyes 17-0. Next Saturday, you in the Midwest, come along with us to watch Notre Dame take on Purdue. How good are the Irish this year? And what about Purdue? Can they come back a little bit? Miami, Colorado's a big one, and UCLA, Stanford. What about that one, Dick, out on the West Coast next week?
Well, we saw Stanford against Washington, and they're going to have to be a much better team than they were at that time. Then San Jose State came back last week and forced them to come from behind the final series to win it. So they're struggling right now. Bill Walsh told me they're young and slow.
Terry and King. That's some combination, huh? Young and slow. And this is Terry to the 16-yard line, and Vinny Stewart tackles him.
There was a case of the offense taking advantage of the defensive aggression there at the center. Now watch the center position right here in front of the quarterback. As the center comes off the ball and the nose guard, Benfati, goes away, and they get him walled off, and they open up that hole right up inside like that. See, normally when a nose guard goes to one side, the linebacker will compensate, filling that other gap. It didn't get done.
Hawkeyes need to get something on the board. Down toward the 5-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Toss to Terry. He'll swing to the right. Job. Wow. And the defense over there led by Jeff Perry.
Boy, that was a beautiful job. He played that inside out, moved into the play properly, no cutback lane, didn't overrun it. Good disciplined football. Oh, Coach Sarah will put that on the highlight film come this spring.
Now 3rd and 3. Ball at the 18-yard line.
3rd down 3, one of the Hawks from the 18.
Neither team is using their running backs efficiently enough in the passing game, Brent, to move the ball, throwing the ball. If they don't do that, neither team is going to have a real good passing attack.
Burmeister, straight back, offensive line gives him time, throws for it, and a nice job by Jasper with Ruben banging on him. Penalty flag is down. Is there a holding call against Iowa on this one? I think the flag was thrown downfield. There goes the referee. Jasper did an excellent job of hanging on to the football that time. So a first down. Ruben may have hit him even early, Coach, before he caught the ball.
Interference on the defense. Declined. Catch is good. First down.
It didn't make much difference with the penalty there. They end up in the same place if they took the play.
Southpaw over there taking notes on this one.
He had good protection. That time they kept the backs in over there on that left side to give him that time. You see that, I don't know, it didn't look like he got there earlier in that shot.
Burmeister with a 1st and 10, 4:15. Willie Guy to Burmeister's left. Cut back by the fullback into the middle of the defense, and Benfetti.
That was an unusual formation that time. They put a wide receiver, Willie Guy, in the backfield as a tailback, then shifted him out. I think they had one of Hayden Fry's exotic plays called. He saw the defense and audibled out it because they didn't want to do it against a man-to-man defense.
Trying to find something.
When you're not winning the battle on the line of scrimmage, it's hard to find anything.
Offensive line holds up. Burmeister fires, and Gelsheiser makes a diving grab. Brian Gelsheiser intercepts for Penn State. That is the 3rd turnover. And against Hayden Fry's Hawkeyes, Penn State cashed in for 10 points on the first 2, and that was in the first half.
Turnover, you lose the football. Good pressure. They played man-to-man coverage tight. And he tried to force the ball down the seams. He was good. He had time to throw this one properly, but he didn't see the linebacker that was freed up underneath. His man didn't go out, so he's sitting there free to make the play. Brian Gelsheiser, nice play. First interception in his career. He'll take that one home, put it on the wall.
Big offensive player in high school. Good pair of hands, which he demonstrated. Collins comes out, knocked loose, incompletion.
Geez, the quarterback is totally misreading the coverage. That corner was rolling right up into that, Brent. He's lucky he didn't throw that as an interception. The slant pattern, combination pattern with that one was wide open. He should have thrown the slant.
Tom Knight was the defensive back rolling up.
Hey, that's a gimme for him. Misreading the defense.
Second and 10. And the defense might not have gotten back. Again, Florida, as the Gators explode in Gainesville, 31-14.
Coach Mushberger, you're right again.
Syracuse, Texas tied in the 3rd quarter. I'll tell you, Coach.
I'm not going to argue with you anymore before a game about who's going to win a game.
He lethal down there at home, down there in the swamp.
I know he's never been beaten down there, but sooner or later you think someone's going to get to him. Coach Gantner right there coordinates the offense. Coach Joe. "67 years old and still coaching."
You'd never know it.
I tell you, I'm envious of that kind of stamina. I wish I had it.
Has a new goal set for himself. Get the Nittany Lions out to the Rose Bowl. Got a chance this year with this team. Archie and Whitman. Whitman gets the call. Wrapped up by the right side of the Hawkeye defense. Scott Hosier, number 54 there.
I'll tell you one not many people know. Penn State played in the Rose Bowl one time. Lost to USC. The first time the game was played in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. Now, it was 1923.
Joe make that trip?
No, I think he took over. He was just a graduate assistant at that time.
And Hayden says, I've had enough. Get me behind that camera. I can do better than these guys. Very animated Hayden Fry. Been one of our better cameramen here today. Now Collins on the roll. Throwing. Complete. And that was Freddie Scott.
Brent, some of the good things that are happening in their passing game are almost happening by accident rather than just clean, good execution. I know that the coaches at Penn State are going to be a little bit concerned when they get back and start studying this pass offense again.
Well, meanwhile, up around Evanston, the celebration is probably underway after that enormous upset of one Boston College, Dick.
Yeah, you're a Northwestern alum, man. Come on.
1st and 10.
What was your major there?
Line. Second. 206. Here's Carter. Cuts through a hole. Carter explodes. Touchdown, Penn State. 23-yard burst by Kajana Carter.
The key to that, again, was the fullback. Yes, good blocking on the line of scrimmage, but the reason it scored was Brian Millen, number 22, the lead fullback. Follow him as he leads this football play and gets the key block downfield. You'll see the cross block on the top. Good blocking right there. Now watch this block right there. Boom! Turns him out, gives him that running lane, speed to burst, touchdown.
Back again. Well, Carter with 19 carries for 144 yards and a touchdown. That's a big-time game by him here this afternoon.
You know, when your offense turns the ball over like that and hasn't been efficient at all, pretty quick it drains the defense. No matter how good a defense you've been playing, it takes it out of you. Again, to the right side of your screen, watch the cross block. Boom, freeze it right there. Freeze it right there. You saw the tight end block down and the tackle kicking out. And they run right in that hole. Good design. Fullback leads through. Freeze it right there. There's the key block right there. Nice job. You know, the fullback that made that block, Brian Millen, was the NCAA discus champion this past year. I mean, he's a pretty good athlete, that guy.
Kenneth Leonard Carter, nicknamed Kajana, out of Westerville, Ohio. The junior tailback explodes for his biggest day yet at Penn State. He has sent some sparks flying here in Iowa City.
He's fired up. You know, he only played 5 games his senior year in high school, so he wasn't an obvious all-world high school senior player. Good recruiting, good evaluation by Penn State people.
This is Guy. 22-yard line. 24-0, all uphill. Mark Tate making the stop.
Again, those turnovers, you turn the ball over, kills you, but when you turn it over and give the offensive team a short field to play on, you just can't beat anybody. No way. Look at this. 4 plays, 40 yards, touchdown. 40-yard field, not hard to score.
First and 10 for Burmeister and the Hawks. Tennessee punches one in. Schuler with 3 touchdown passes. They probably went for 2 and missed. 31-20, that score now. And Cedric Shaw, the freshman, being featured right now.
He played awfully well last week, Brent. They really like him. He has that good speed. You know, he's a fine quarter miler in high school, ran on a national winning relay team, so he has that speed, and they like his future here.
Second and 3. Time running out in the 3rd. Oh, should have been a first down. That ball was dropped by Slutzker.
A classic example of the tight end taking his eye off the ball before he caught it. You could see it from up here. His head was turning to wheel and run just as the ball hit his hand, therefore broke his concentration. Too bad. You'll see it here now on the left side of the screen. See right there what his head did? You see what his head did? He looked around ready to run the football. Not looking for a tackler, looking for a place to run.
Four-man rush ready again for the Lions. Shaw bolts through. Finally hit by Willie Smith. First down.
You can only do with your hands what your eyes tell you to do in a game of football. And you'll see again, here's that point. See 84, Slutzker right there. Now watch the ball coming down. Now watch his helmet. See his helmet? Now he looks back for the football.
Throws high and incomplete.
He's got to throw that ball much faster to beat that double zone coverage like that, Brent. See, that safety was rotating over there and had been thrown accurately there. The safety would have been able to knock it down. You see Carell right there, number 17, coming over. You've got to throw that ball in between the rotated corner and the rotating deep safety.
Second down, 10 from the 36.
Boy, the little things it takes to make a passing game go. Boy, it takes experience, it takes time. And Coach Hayden Fry has always had a very fine passing game.
Now most of the regulars on defense are over there on the far side at the 44-yard line, watching the reserves clean up. That time it was Vinny Stewart.
What happened that time, Burmeister started out from underneath the center too soon, almost didn't get the ball. He almost dropped the ball getting away from. Maybe he saw the rush coming. He's been chased around there pretty good. Now watch as he comes away from the center right now. He's right at, see him reach back and grab the ball. He got it on the second bounce. That really fouls you up. And there's the pass rush right there. That's Vinny Stewart, number 78. He's been a factor every time he's been in there today. They have 4 good starting defensive linemen and 4 good backup defensive linemen making a contribution.
End of the third quarter. 6 sacks, 3 turnovers, and a 24-0 shutout. His defense has been superb. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Sometimes the head coach has to go to extreme lengths just to get a better look at the defense down on the field. You know, our problem, Dick, is I've got a cardboard dummy as a spotter.
Hey, I've been called a cardboard dummy as a coach.
There's the shotgun. Burmeister slips down at the 17. Oh, wasn't that Jimmy Tubbs standing up there between us, Vermeil?
Yeah, looked like him.
Hey, John Saunders, help us out here, partner. What do you got?
And back to you, Brent.
All right, John. We'll keep one eye on that one because here, Penn State
had a good punt.
and its defense dominating. This punt's going to roll dead at about the 48-yard line. Here are the numbers.
Remember, at halftime, there was just a few yards separating total offense here. And here again, Penn State just, 30 yards or so ahead. But the turnover factor right here, look at this. Boy, you're going to get beat when you're -1 most of the time, let alone be -3, especially against a defensive team like Penn State.
And to go along with those 3 turnovers, don't forget the 6 sacks.
They up to 6 now.
And make it 7. Officially. Here's the handoff to Archie.
Ooh, face mask.
Number 2, Mike Archie.
This offensive line, as we said, is not real big, but they're very mobile. They can do whatever they want to do. They can pull them, they can trap them, they can pull them and get wide, they can pull them and run counters.
Tom Knight down.
Tommy Knight is out of Marlton, New Jersey. Just a young sophomore here.
We'll take a break. Yeah, Tom Knight shaken up, being carried off the field. We certainly hope that that injury is not serious.
Ben, I had an opportunity to visit with Tom Knight the other day and looking at films. You know, he's really considered the outstanding corner they have here. Just a young guy from Marlton, New Jersey. Went to Cherokee High School and came here as an engineering student, had a very good grade point out of high school, and has just recently changed his major and going to go work in toward the business school.
Dick, you and I saw an old friend here, and I was surprised, but you knew why. The former USC coach, Larry Smith, was in Iowa City and is here at this game today.
Well, his son left USC at the end of the spring practice and transferred here. This is Colby Smith, and I walked off the practice field with him the other day, and he said his dad was going to be in town to visit with him.
And we've got Julie Moran's got a story about Old Blue. Julie?
Old Blue.
Well, Brent, one of the bright spots on this Hawkeye defense has been Larry Blue, but this time last year he was a little worried. Every time he read his name in the newspaper, it said, Senior Larry Blue did this, Senior Larry Blue did that. He was worried. He was redshirted. He thought no one remembered. After the Minnesota game in November, Coach Fry came up, patted him on the back, put his arm around him, and said, son, we've loved having you play here at Iowa. Well, he was a redshirt senior. He's back out here this year. He's one of the captains of this team, and he wanted everyone to know he did not graduate last year. He's back.
Well, he's made his presence known out there a number of times. Some real good defensive plays.
So Knight leaving the field here at Iowa City.
Coach Bill Brazier told me he is one of the guys they have on this football team that will someday play on Sunday rather than Saturday. He's that good.
70,000 on hand here watching the Hawkeyes and the Nittany Lions. Most of them disappointed, although several thousand have traveled in. Loyal Penn State fans, and of course they're some of the most loyal in the country, coming to motor homes, and they enjoyed the tailgating here outside of this beautiful facility in Iowa City today. The weather has held, sun has come out, and the rain, which was predicted yesterday, has held off. Conditions are pretty nice. Everything going well for the folks here, except you know what, on the scoreboard, it's been all Penn State. Defense has done the job. Stephen Pitts into the backfield. This is Pitts gets the toss, and he is wrapped up by the Hawkeye defense.
Mike Daly, the inside linebacker, just went after him.
Out by Tyrone Boudreaux.
And Tyrone Boudreaux.
Check a little of the baseball action here. Dick, I know you follow the baseball races very carefully. What do you think about the American League East, partner?
I think they ought to live in the West myself.
Don't worry, folks. Third and 2 now. This is Pitts again on the cutback, slashing through for a first down, and the Nittany Lions keeping this drive going. Last night had an opportunity to do an interesting thing here. There's a writer by the name of W.P. Kinsella. Many of you know him as the author of Shoeless Joe, speaking of baseball, and of course that novel became the Field of Dreams movie. And Kinsella, who attended the University of Iowa workshop here, was reading some of his works last night, and very, very interesting person. Lives up in British Columbia right now, Dick, and also down in Palm Springs. He's a loyal Hawkeye football fan, also in attendance here this afternoon. Sure, he too is disappointed.
How come you didn't invite me to go? You know, Tubbs wanted to go. He was partnering with George Hill wanted to go. You know, we have a little sophistication within us here too, you know.
Now given a choice, would you go here, W.P. Kinsella, or go talk to Joe Paterno about X's and O's? Come on, now tell the truth.
I went to talk to Joe.
That's right. Okay, that's why I didn't ask you, okay? But I went with the old Big Ten commish. Wayne Duke is here. He and his lovely wife, Martha, and we had a good night. Wayne, of course, is an Iowa graduate, and he has come down here to watch Penn State. It's Big Ten road debut. Take on his alma mater. What do we think about the quarterback situation at Penn State right now? We've had Kerry Collins stick in after the first 3 series. Has Collins taken over? What's the deal?
I don't know. You know, John Sackett was so good in the opener. He threw 4 touchdown passes to Bobby Ingram, you know. Then all of a sudden last week it didn't go very well for him. He threw 2 interceptions. Started out slow today, and I think the performance last week sort of impulsed the coaches to be ready if he just sagged it all to go ahead and play Collins today and see if he could pick it up. To me, I just don't think they're used to the pass offense yet. I mean, it's just neither one of them look in sync.
Yeah, you know, it's been a defensive performance that's done the job, hasn't it?
Yes, you bet.
This is Millen. They drop it off to him on third down. 2:23 left in that one, Dick. Your Bruins trying to pull it out against Nebraska. That would be a big one for Coach Donahue. And there it is, 38-20 now, Florida. He puts 38 points on the board with that run and fun. Is that the name of the offense?
You talk about a guy that can coach pass offense. You're talking the right guy.
Yes.
Down there in Florida. I mean, if they don't have to be as good as you physically, they'll just drive you crazy. But every guy will catch 4 or 5 balls, running back, tight end, wide receivers, in all varieties. They'll do an excellent job with that passing game.
You know, I enjoy Lee Corso. I see him frequently up at ESPN when I'm up there for the radio network, and big football fan, lives down in Orlando. He told me, he said, you watch the Gators when they get back down home. They're gonna do it to Tennessee. They've just got the offense that you're talking about.
You got some expert advice when you start talking with me. Then I'm not gonna listen to you anymore.
You thought I was making this stuff up. Inside the 25. Nittany Lions and John Whitman carrying a couple of Hawkeyes inside the 5.
Big John, go ahead, Brent.
No, go ahead.
Big John Whitman played in the Big 33 All-Star game in Pennsylvania, which is a very prestigious game. They used to play the best of Maryland. Now they play the best of Pennsylvania. 33 top players, and he was one of them. He demonstrated it there.
Did a nice job on that play.
They're chewing him up, folks.
Yeah, they're putting this one away into the W column.
I really think they're going to have to make a big improvement in the passing game, though, to be totally successful in the Big Ten, because, you know, we saw a team last week you may not be able to chew them up with. And that was the Buckeyes. And then, you know, Michigan. And you've got to be able to throw the ball more efficiently than it's going on today.
Well, we've got a timeout. Joe says, what'd you call a timeout? Come on, kid, let's back up the bus. On ABC, here it is, 1st and goal for the Nittany Lions.
Ooh, what a surge.
Touchdown, Stephen Pitts.
Boy, did that offensive line come off the ball inside, Brent. Oh, man. They really came off the ball as a group. Tremendous surge inside. Good shoulder-to-shoulder wedge blocking. Right in the middle of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Watch him come off the ball. Boom. Look at him just knocking him back. Look at that hole in there.
With Chip Labarca holding.
Running backs love it in days like this.
And Fair nails down another one.
Point after is good. Penn State 31, Iowa.
The Nittany Lions in control. 31-0. Well, Penn State leading Iowa here 31-0. Julie Moran, what's the situation with the injured Hawkeye, Tom Knight?
Well, Brent, he is out for the game. I was just talking to Dr. David Turse, the team doctor, and he says they're taking him out of the stadium. They're going to evaluate his left knee. He has extensive damage there, but they're not quite sure what it is. They're going to run some tests, but he will not be back today.
All right, Julie, thank you. And here are the kickoff is to the Hawkeyes. Shaw, the freshman, down at the 21-yard line. Willie Smith. He's pretty active on the special teams, and when he comes in the game, he's got a little pizzazz, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, we saw him play real well last year. He played quite a bit, Brent. You know, and he's got a couple of years of eligibility left, so they're stocked up pretty deep on defense. You know, you keep adding quality schools to the Big Ten. It's going to make it tougher on the middle-of-the-road schools to get into a bowl game.
Yeah, you just wait till Penn State faces a power like Northwestern in the Big Ten. Burmeister ready. On a roll to the right. Incomplete.
Burmeister's pass is intended for number 86.
And some defensive performance here today.
Look at the sacks, 7, 70 yards lost, interceptions 3. Iowa rushing absolutely, totally dominated the football game. Actually, they did a lot of that to SC last week, too. The score was much closer than the game.
Well, you know, there's a question with 11 teams in the conference. Who will fill that 12th spot? Been a lot of speculation about Missouri. We asked Coach Hayden Fry, who thinks that they need a 12th team in the Big Ten. Hayden, who would you like to see added to the conference? Here's what he had to say.
My first choice would be Notre Dame because of the tradition, the one-loss record, the prestige. Number 2 would be Nebraska because of another great program and a great coach in Tom Osborne. And number 3 would be Missouri because of the great television market, and their program will come back.
Well, it's very interesting to hear Hayden say Notre Dame. Now, that would be, in the eyes of many, a wonderful fit, except that the Irish, as you know, have their own television contract, and so far they've been reluctant to share any of the football wealth. However, when you take a look at their basketball program and the rest of their sports, they may someday come around to the same feeling that Joe Paterno and Penn State had, which was the reason why they joined the conference. But nevertheless, right now 11 teams in the conference, and Ingram.
Ooh, lousy punt. You know, if I were Coach Hayden coaching at Iowa and I had a vote, look at this return. I sure as didn't want to vote to bring in a Nebraska or a Notre Dame. I mean, it's tough enough as it is. You know, there are not a lot of football players in the state of Iowa. They have to go all over the country to compete. I'd want Willamette College to come in or something like that. Give me somebody I can beat.
Yeah, but there's an honorable man. I mean, Hayden Fry, that's what would help the conference.
Yeah.
Get those Fighting Irish in here.
Oh, yeah, but the trouble is, you know, sooner or later the alumni get mad at you when you don't beat them.
We'll see them next week. Notre Dame and Purdue. Lou Holtz says he has not been spending much time in a library lately, most of it out on the practice field. Miami, Colorado, another big one. And John Sacca returns at quarterback and gets belted on the first snap of his return by Parker Wilderman. Well, Miami up, but only by 2 touchdowns as Notre Dame beats Michigan State today, 36-14.
You've been reading that book on Notre Dame.
Yes, I have. I wanted to read it, and I just think that you take a lot of anecdotes that way, and if you skew them in one direction, you're going to come up with that end result. And some of the things were interesting. Some of it I found kind of boring, to tell you the truth.
Or a matter of fact, or so what?
Yeah.
Or so what? Tell me something we don't know, you know?
Yeah, I've been at practice sessions with Lou, and I knew he was tough. But I'll tell you, something had to be done to turn the program around in there.
What's wrong with being tough?
Yeah.
I mean, our country was made by tough people.
Well, I think a bigger issue that's raised, Dick, is probably the one about steroids, which the university has vehemently denied.
Yeah, well, let's say it's not true. Let's say it was true. It's been part of our culture. It's been part of a problem. The first time I saw it was 1982 at the Eagles. I had a player go bonsai on me on the practice field. I didn't know what was wrong with him. I mean, guy flipped out. He hit one of my offensive line coaches in the middle of the back. And he wasn't drinking Coca-Cola. I'll tell you that. Put him in a hospital for 3 days, and we found out what was wrong with him. So, I mean, it's not unique to Notre Dame. That's problems of our society. The only thing is, you know, what do you think they take in fraternity houses at Notre Dame, huh? Criminy sakes. Have you ever been to one of those parties?
I turned him on, didn't I, folks?
Yeah, God,
where was I? let me get a grip on this thing. Oh. Oh, this may be some evening here in Iowa City. High punt, fair catch, signal 4 at the 15-yard line. Well, it's a 26-yarder. 7 minutes to go. It's 31-0. Vermeil's got bonsai on me. Never have I seen this at Iowa. Crowd filing out by the thousands. The last time they were shut out, Hayden Fry was not the coach here. That's the last shutout at home in Kinnick Stadium. They faced that bleak prospect, Matt-eyed. Their second quarterback coming in, Cedric Shaw, the running back, out of bounds at the 19-yard line at the 7-minute mark here. Brian Miller. Well, a 1-point loss by UCLA. A tough setback by the Bruins in the Rose Bowl this afternoon, 14-13. Tennessee trailing by 12. That has been a wild one down there in Gainesville. Over the middle, complete, and bobbled incomplete. Julie Moran, what do you got?
Well, I caught up with Larry Smith. He's enjoying a little Hawkeye football and expecting his son to be playing here next year.
Well, I hope so, in a year, yeah.
So a future quarterback in your family playing here at Iowa.
Well, that would be a fun thing. I know he's got his goals set on that, so we just have to wait and see what happens.
Why did he decide to transfer from USC to Iowa?
Oh, I think it was a lot of things. I think he just felt that in my situation leaving there, and he hung in there, did a really good job for the period of time he was there, but he felt that he had a great chance to come here and compete for the starting position. I think that's really what he was looking for.
Are we going to see you on the sidelines in the future?
Well, again, I don't know. That's a big question. I really don't know. I'm just trying to get rested up, and if a good opportunity comes along, and I get offered it, I got to take a good look at it. And so I'd like you back on the sideline in some capacity.
Now we're going to go over to Corby here. Corby, when your dad left USC, that probably played a big decision in your wanting to leave the school as well.
Not until I went into spring practice. And after spring practice, I decided to toughen it out, but, just due to circumstances out of my control, I felt like that was the best decision to make, was a transfer.
How do you like the atmosphere here in Iowa?
I love it. I love it. It's great. Players are great. It's a beautiful state.
So you'll have 2 years of eligibility left.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right, back upstairs to you, Brett.
Julie, thank you. And you know what, Dick?
What do you think? I think we'll see Larry back on the sidelines. I sure hope so. College football needs him. He needs him. He's an honest, hard-working guy, good football coach, and they fired him, and they're 0-2. Wasn't all coaching.
That was Archie hauling it back. You bet. I'm sure that, Larry originally is out of the Midwest, out of Ohio, I believe it is, and he and his wife have never had an opportunity to travel during the fall. He's going to go down into the Southeast. They're going to tour the battlefields, stop in on a little football in the South, and they're going to go up and see a friend of his at Rhode Island who's the head coach. And meanwhile, when this ends, I'm going over there. Mr. Vermeil, you're welcome to come with me.
I'm gonna stand right here. I think right there and just lean over. And
that's it. That's where you have the best time, right there. 6.5 minutes to go. Well, you can't be surprised that Penn State came in here and is going to win, but you've got to be surprised with the way they handled Iowa here today, Dick.
Well, I read real confidence in their coaching staff last night and visiting with them. I talked to Craig Service, the offensive line coach. He's very pleased. And actually, I think a little surprised at how quickly the offensive line has come together. Their attitude is tremendous. I talked to Bill Kenny, who coaches the tight end. And, gosh, if he's the guy that taught Kyle Brady to block like he's been blocking today and last week, that's a great plus. I talked to Kenny Jackson, the wide receiver coach, and they're all very positive. But I'll tell you this, the passing game right now sucks, and they're really going to have to get it going. I mean, they're going to have to get it going if they're going to be successful.
Woffenberg and number 93, Cody Bates. And Parker Wilderman. Third down, 7 from the 46.
5.5 minutes. Saka scrambling and out of bounds. Penalty flag is down.
You see what I mean? In every pass, the quarterback is, if he has any time at all, he's looking for somebody to throw the ball to, and he's left with nothing else to do but to scramble and head for the sidelines. And I know that they're going to end up being much better here down the road, but good thing they're not playing Ohio State or Michigan right now.
Great job by Northwestern today up in Dyke Stadium.
Oh, Northwestern. You're really up on that one.
And Louisville.
Push in the back, above the waist, 10 yards from the flag. Repeat the down.
Ball being brought back to the 38.
Behind the scrimmage, the Penn State 38, third down, 23.
.5:25 to go. 31-0, Penn State over Iowa. And this is Timmy Herring again.
Tim Herring.
Getting a little unexpected playing time here today in Iowa City.
Marcus Porter.
That shows you how deep they are. They do a great job of recruiting up there, and they've had such a good, stable program over the years with no NCAA problems or anything like that, and they get the cream of the crop.
Fourth down.
It's amazing that all the great years, Dick, that Penn State has played football, and Michigan too, that those two schools have never played each other. And yet on October 16th at Happy Valley, Michigan will come a-calling. And if you want to listen to some coaches scream bloody murder in the Big Ten, here's a punt by Vasillo. And a fair catch by Willie at the 15-yard line. Talk to him about the Penn State schedule. This year, they've got an off week prior to the Michigan game and another one prior to the Ohio State game.
I'll tell you that, you talk about having just a little bit of a physical edge, and I think that was created because I think they actually had to drop some people and then fill in with Big Ten people. But Joe has got a great football team here if they can improve this passing attack.
There's the fake by
Matt eyed the quarterback that time. He was so upset. A chance to come in here and play, a transfer from Michigan State. He's been here, he redshirted here, earned the right to play. He's in there playing now, throws a perfect strike. It is dropped. He was upset.
Odom's dropping that pass.
Another Big Ten cakewalk.
How many players can you travel with in the conference?
62 players.
Do you think all 62 got in for Penn State today?
They had to come in 2 planes. See, at State College, they don't have a big enough runway to go there with a big airplane, so they had to come here in 2 small airplanes.
Odoms makes a catch. Can't land a big jet on that runway yet, huh?
Not yet. You know, the farmers up there, a lot of wonderful people up there, but they don't want that environment fooled around with. You know, and they might take them a little while to get that runway made a little bit bigger so the big planes can land.
Well, now Hayden has gone over there. That picture of Hayden is smiling a lot more than the real one is right now, eh?
There's the real coach. Always a very, very fine football coach. A very good offensive football coach. Even when they get beat, they normally put points on the board. And I think that's a credit to the defense of Penn State. The defensive coaching staff, Jerry Sandusky and Greg Shand and Tom Bradley and Joe Serra, these guys have done a real good job of putting this defense together for this ballgame.
Well, the Nittany Lions of Penn State have served notice that even though they come in vanilla uniforms and even though the coach wears some rather plain attire over there on the far sideline, they are a team to be reckoned with here in the conference. And there on the right-hand side is Joe Pa right there. There's Hayden over on the left. Joe, for as long as I've known him, has rolled up the pant legs there, and that's a pretty fancy jacket, though, for him.
He's smiling. I tell you, last night he had a beautiful sport coat on. I said, "Coach, you look great." And he said his wife was trying to clean up his act a little bit. She's been out shopping, and he really looked great. He's happy about this football team. He really is. But whenever, as a head football coach, you can even coach a winning team and not be happy if they're not a great attitude team. Now, you always want them to, what you like is the combination of winning and a great attitude team as well. And he's got a team with a real good attitude right now, and he's loving it. He also knows he has a problem on his hand in his passing game.
Three minutes to go. And incomplete. So man-eyed, and Odom's trying to hook up here. And Hayden Fry, of course, trying to avoid the first shutout of his career in Kinnick Stadium. Paul Burmeister, the starter, actually played quite well, except for that defensive pressure applied by the Nittany Lions, who sacked him 7 times and intercepted him 3 times.
The offensive line just didn't have enough experience in there to handle the kind of constant pressure those guys give him.
I guess the sack total officially is up to 9.
Oh, nice. Boy, can he...
Terry Killens rides.
Boy, he can accelerate.
Back out of bounds.
You know,
well, here are our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. And it was Kajana Carter for Penn State. 19 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. And for Iowa, he hustled the entire game. Mike Wells of the Hawkeyes. Chevrolet donates $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
When it's going right, it's going right. Fumble it right back to your own man. There's Mr. Wells. Boy, he's a competitor.
And there is Carter, who was a sizzling running back here this afternoon in Iowa City.
Look at that smile. 144, 7.6 average. Heck, he averaged over 6 yards a carry last year.
This one is coming to an end. Not fast enough for the Hawkeyes. Marcus Montgomery being helped off the field here in Iowa City.
He's a newcomer here to the program. Out of California Junior College system, Mount Sac Junior College in Southern California. They really think he's going to be a good player. Right now, he's going to take a few weeks off. The trainers here do a real good job. Headed up by Ed Crowley. Ed Crowley's been here for a long, long time and does a real good job taking care of these players.
Second down. First down. Final 2 minutes coming up. You know, Dick, speaking of Northwestern, today outside Dyke Stadium, instead of programs, they were having some difficulty selling ads up there. They gave away posters with the lineups on it. And the reason why, you apparently under NCAA regulations, you cannot give a program to a possible recruit, but they love posters. So they put...
Is that legal?
Yeah, it is.
You'll find a way to make it illegal.
So they can use the posters. And
if the kids like it.
Northwestern used that today prior to the game against Boston College. A few more wins like that today against BC, however, and they'll be selling enough ads to put a big program out again.
Well, they've done a good job there. We were there last year, remember, in the opener against Notre Dame. They drove Notre Dame crazy for a while. The guy's doing a good job of coaching. Now, if they can just do a good job of recruiting.
Well, we've got an opportunity. Let me thank the folks who have helped us put on this broadcast. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. The coordinating producer of ABC's College Football is Bob Goodrich. Today's game was produced by Kim Belton, Stanford man. Nice job down there, Kim, and directed by Bill Webb. Billy called the shots on these pictures. And we want to thank everybody, our associate director, Russell Brooks, and all the good folks, especially our cameramen. Nice job today. A minute to go, and a lot of this crew will, of course, be a part of Monday Night Football. What do you think, Dick? The Broncos and the Chiefs Monday night on ABC.
Well, I tell you, I'm not going to pick a winner. I don't expect the Chiefs to play like they did last week. Boy, they played poor football. I talked to Carl Peterson, the president general manager of the Chiefs, this week, and he was really upset. Marty was really upset. I think we'll see a very intense, tight football game Monday night.
Hey, let's go right now quickly to John Saunders, John.
Tyburn.
We are back here. Oh, an exciting one coming to an end there. And here, Penn State winning its first road game in the Big Ten. 31-0 over Iowa. Joe Paterno and the Nittany Lions. 2-0 in the Big Ten for Dick Vermeil and Julie Moran. I'm Brett Musburger. So long, everybody.